Alright, I have another video with the unboxing of this helicopter. This is the EXI 450 Carbon Pro Edition with belt-driven tail. Belt-driven tail is just more forgiving if you stick it in the ground or have uneven ground to land on or hit tall grass. And I live on a farm, so it's ideal for me. Okay, in my other video, of course, I showed the heli being unboxed, and I showed this Detrum 450 flight pack, and I showed the parts it came with. Now, this is one of the servos right there. I personally would not put one of these servos in any 450 helicopter. A little foamy they would be great for, but beyond that, I couldn't use them. They feel cheap. If you look at the horn, I mean, when you mount them, if you're not careful, you'll break the horn. I broke two of them just trying them out. Vibration would probably crack the casing on them real easy. This is a really thin plastic. So, I'll go over this with you. This comes with a gyro, a motor, a speed controller, and 4 of these servos. Now, the big kicker is if you get the Pro Edition, as I did, you notice here, this is for the tail servo, but it's bigger than these. So, I have the Align DS520 servo in mine. Good tail servo. Now, back to this kit. The motor is in this helicopter, as well as the speed controller, which the motor is up under here. And it does look just like an Align motor, it's just not stamped Align. The speed controller, 40 amp. It's as good as any other speed controller, I reckon. It has a setting for very soft start. It is really nice when you spin up the blades. Okay. As you can see, I sleeved almost all of my wires. Just makes them blend in better, makes it look nicer. The gyro that comes with this Detrum kit is this one right here. This is turn on some light for you all. This is a GY48V. It's a 401 clone, basically. It does a decent job. A beginner would have no problem flying with this gyro. To the intermediate, the person starting 3D, you probably want to go a step up. It does drift a little bit on me, and it could be me, because down here on the ball link, I put it all the way out on the very, very last hole, and it probably should be in further to give you a finer resolution. That would probably do a lot for me. I'm using high-tech 65 metal geared servos. It's what was available locally. Once I saw what these servos look like, I was not going to use them. I mean, it's just not going to happen. Not in one of my helicopters. I've got a handful of flights on this thing. Literally 5 or 6 so far. I just finished it today. Of course, when you get a kit like this, you tear it all apart. You thread lock everything, put it all back together. The linkages on this clone kit, they weren't set to the right length, so I couldn't get the throws I needed. Download the Align 450 manual and just look the links over and measure them out. I now get 12 positive to 12 negative. I just had to adjust these links here and these links here. No big deal. This kit comes with fiberglass blades, which they actually look like carbon fiber with a white coating, but they're fiberglass. These blades for fiberglass fly beautiful. I'm going to buy a bunch of these blades just to have them around. You can't beat them for a crash. They're like $4 a set. They're great. The head, it's a Pro clone. Everything does great. The only thing with this kit that I've found really that bugged me, this head button, it is not centered correctly as far as when it was machined, and so when it spins, it looks like your head is, or your shaft is a little bit warped, but it's no big deal. It has a metal gear tail, well, a metal gearbox for the tail. It is a belt drive, as you can see. This thing works great. I can't complain at all. It flies every bit as good as my 450 Trex does. The only thing is, I was going for $150 sub build. It didn't happen because of the servos. You know, I had to buy a good tail servo, $50, and then these were $25 a piece. So, you know, I got $125 in the tail and the 3 servos. $55 in a kit that I didn't need. Live and learn, but I wanted to give it a review because I couldn't find it anywhere. So now you know. The speed controller is decent. The motor is okay. The gyro, a beginner to intermediate, these 3 parts will do you great. The servos, throw it away. So if you want to order this kit, the gyro is $12. You can get you a nice motor for about $15 to $20, and a Volcano speed controller, and get the program card for the Volcano to make it easier. And you order you a set of decent servos. Your servos will make or break your helicopter. If you get really cheap servos like these, well, just plan on hitting the ground, because your horns are going to break, something's going to happen, and you're going to be paying for blades and parts. You're better off buying the servos to start with and saving on crash parts later. The canopy, it's fiberglass. I did have to drill a hole myself, no big deal. It flies beautiful. It flies as good as my Trex. I mean, I can't say nothing else about it other than they did a great job. The gears are just slightly, and I mean very slightly, thinner than the 450 Trexes, but they do great, and if you order them, I think they're just a hair cheaper than the Trexes. Like I said, I've put 5 flights on it, and I ain't had no problems at all. One more thing, this motor did not come with 2 screws that fit it in my kit. So if you're buying the motor and the speed controllers or anything separate, you won't have that problem. Just stay away from this $55 kit. I bought it. I used some parts out of it. The servos, as you can see, I broke a horn. These cheap servos, the horns crack really easy. Just a little bit of pressure, because the back of them is actually hollowed out, and the plastic is half as thick as it looks. So, epoxy them in a little foamy. Be happy to fly it. Other than that, stay away from this kit. It was nice of them to try to do it, but they didn't do a good job with the servos.